Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short Story 611, The Last Beacon, Intermediate. Commander Eva Rostova woke to the familiar hum of the Stardust Voyager. For 1,000 days, she had been the only living soul on board, her mission to find a new habitable world in a dying galaxy. The rest of her crew, her family, were in cryo-sleep, their lives suspended until they reached their destination. Today was different. The hum had a new, high-pitched whine. Something was wrong. She checked the main console. A single, blinking red light. Warning, unidentified vessel detected. Collision course. Eva's heart pounded. She had been told there was nothing out here. Not for 100 light-years in any direction. She activated the external sensors. A sleek, black ship, shaped like a manta ray, was hurtling towards them. No markings. No signal. Frantically, she tried to send a transmission. Unidentified vessel, this is the Stardust Voyager. Change your course immediately. There was no reply. The other ship was moving too fast. Eva had only one choice, the emergency evasive maneuver. She slammed her hand down on the large red button, and the Stardust Voyager jolted violently, its thrusters firing wildly. She watched on the main screen as the black ship shot past, missing them by mere meters. She breathed a sigh of relief. But the relief was short-lived. A new alarm blared. Warning, life support failing. The black ship hadn't been aiming for a collision. It had fired a weapon. A silent, invisible beam that had hit their power core. Eva ran a full diagnostic. The main engines were offline. Life support was critically low. They had enough air for a few hours, maybe a day. She needed to wake the crew. She hurried to the cryo chambers, a knot of panic in her stomach. As she reached the door, it wouldn't open. A mechanical lock had engaged. A message flashed on a small screen next to the door. Intruder detected. Cryo chambers secured. Intruder? Who? Eva was the only one awake. She turned around slowly, her eyes scanning the empty corridor. That's when she saw it. A faint shimmer, a ripple in the air next to the cryo chambers. It was the intruder. But it wasn't a living being. It was a projection. A ghost in the machine. A familiar voice, a voice she knew better than her own, echoed from the walls of the ship. Eva, you must not wake them. It was her husband, Alex. He had died years ago, on Earth, before the mission had even begun. Eva stumbled back. Alex? How? The projection of Alex flickered. The Stardust Voyager? It's a lie. A test. The habitable planet. It's a fabrication. We are not traveling through space. We are in orbit, around Earth. We never left. The black ship was part of the test. The life support is not failing. It's all part of the simulation. Eva's mind reeled. It couldn't be. She had felt the weightlessness of space, the silence between the stars. She had seen the dying sun of their home system. Why? Why do this to us, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. To find the strongest, the voice of her husband explained, his image solidifying slightly. To find a leader for the future. The real future. A future on Earth. Our home is dying, Eva. But we can save it. We needed to know who would be willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. Who would stay awake, alone, for 1,000 days, for a mission that might be a lie, all to save the lives of others. The shimmer of the projection faded, and the corridor was silent again. Eva stood there, stunned. She looked at the sealed cryo chambers, at the people she thought she had been saving from a doomed world, people she had believed were counting on her. The voice returned one last time, a final, clear message. "You passed the test, Eva. Welcome home." The lights of the ship dimmed, then went out. The silence was absolute. Suddenly, a new set of lights flickered on, not the sterile white of the ship, but a soft, warm yellow. A door hissed open, and a figure stood in the entrance, not an alien, but a person. She was dressed in a simple, white uniform. "Commander Rostova," she said with a gentle smile. "My name is Commander Davis. We are ready to begin the next stage of the project. Earth is waiting." Eva looked at the real, living person, and then at the sealed chambers containing the crew she thought she had been protecting. Her mind finally settled. Meaning, a computer program or a test that looks for problems or faults in a system or machine. She was a leader. Her mission was just beginning. Vocabulary notes. Habitable, adjective. Meaning, suitable or good enough to live in. Example, her mission to find a new habitable world in a dying galaxy. Similar words, livable, inhabitable, colonizable. Example sentence, after years of searching, they finally found a planet with a habitable atmosphere. Cryo-sleep, noun. Meaning, a fictional process in science fiction where a person's body is frozen or put into a deep, long-term sleep to allow for very long space journeys. Example, the rest of her crew, her family, were in cryo-sleep, their lives suspended until they reached their destination. Similar words, suspended animation, deep sleep, stasis. Example sentence, the astronauts went into cryo-sleep for the 50-year journey to the new solar system. Hurtling, verb, present participle. Meaning, moving very fast, typically in an uncontrolled or dangerous way. Example, a sleek, black ship, shaped like a manta ray, was hurtling towards them. Similar words, speeding, rushing, soaring, flying. Example sentence, the comet came hurtling through space, visible from our telescopes on Earth. Diagnostic, noun. Meaning, a computer program or a test that looks for problems or faults in a system or machine. Example, Eva ran a full diagnostic. The main engines were offline. Similar words, analysis, check, scan, examination. Example sentence, the mechanic connected a special tool to the car to run a diagnostic and find out why the engine was making a strange noise. Fabrication, noun. Meaning, an invention, a lie, or something that has been made up and is not true. Example, the habitable planet. It's a fabrication. Similar words, lie, falsehood, invention, fiction. Example sentence, his excuse for being late was a complete fabrication, as he had been caught on security cameras at the cinema. Story written by Gemini Pro AI. Image created by Imagio AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, Drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a story that really messes with your head. It's quite something. Picture this. Commander Eva Rostova. She's the only one awake on the starship Stardust Voyager, floating out in deep space. She's hit the 1,000-day mark completely alone while her crew's in cryo-sleep.
Right, and her job, her whole purpose, is finding a new home for humanity. A habitable planet.
Huge stakes. But as you might guess, not everything is as it seems.
Not even close. That's what makes this story so compelling. It digs into what's real, what do we trust?
Exactly. So our mission today is to kind of peel back the layers on this incredible illusion Eva's living through. We want to get to the truth behind her epic journey.
And what it tells us about leadership under pressure.
So day 1000, Eva's deep into her routine, the solitary existence, and then bam, it's shattered.
Yeah, what happened?
A ship, sleek black, shaped like a manta ray apparently, just hurtles towards them, no warning.
Yeah.
She has to pull off this desperate, dangerous, evasive maneuver just to avoid collision.
And things immediately start going wrong on her ship.
Right.
The consequences are severe.
Oh, yeah. Life support starts failing. Red alerts everywhere. Pure panic.
And that's not even the weirdest part. There's the cryo chambers.
Right. They suddenly lock down, mechanically sealed. She can't get to her crew.
And this message flashes up. Intruder detected. Which is terrifying when you think you're utterly alone, millions of miles from anywhere.
Absolutely terrifying. But then the quote-unquote intruder appears, and this is where it gets, really strange.
It's not some alien or enemy soldier.
No, it's a projection, flickering, kind of ghost-like.
Yeah.
And it's her husband, Alex.
Her deceased husband, Alex. The one who died years ago back on Earth.
Exactly, and he drops an absolute bombshell.
This is the core of it, isn't it? The big reveal.
He tells her, flat out, the Stardust Voyager, it's a lie, a test.
Whoa.
The habitable planet, it's a fabrication.
So the whole thing, the ship, the journey.
All fake. He explains they never even left Earth. The black ship, the life support failure, even him showing up like this.
It was all part of the simulation. An incredibly complex, staged event.
Mind-blowing. I mean, imagine hearing that after 1,000 days, believing you're humanity's last hope in space.
The psychological whiplash must be unimaginable.
Yeah.
So why? Why put her through all that?
That's the next question, isn't it? Alex explains the purpose. He says, to find the strongest.
Strongest?
Yeah. They needed to find a leader, someone uniquely capable, and the test was designed to find that person.
So the challenge wasn't just space travel. It was the isolation.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Exactly. Who would stay awake alone for 1,000 days, committed to a mission that deep down might even feel like a lie, all to save others?
That's an extreme definition of leadership. It's not just about skill. It's about unwavering commitment, even when completely isolated, potentially for nothing real.
Right. It's about that inner drive, that sense of duty, even when everything else is stripped away or revealed as false.
It's a fascinating, if ethically murky way to test for that kind of resolve. Did they think normal tests weren't enough?
Apparently not for what they needed. And the thing is, Eva passes.
She endured. She kept going.
She did. And just like that, the simulation ends, the lights change, the whole environment shifts.
Back to reality, or, a reality.
Right. And this new figure appears, Commander Davis, and he just says, "Welcome, Commander. Earth is waiting."
Earth is waiting.
It's time for the next stage of the project. So her mission isn't over. It's just completely transformed. She's not exploring space. She's needed to lead back home.
Wow. What a journey. From simulated space explorer to presumably a key leader for whatever crisis Earth is actually facing.
It really is. Her whole ordeal, this massive deception, it actually forged her into exactly what they were looking for. It revealed her strength.
It's a powerful idea that extreme circumstances, even simulated ones, can uncover our deepest capacities.
Definitely makes you think.
Yeah, it really does. It makes you consider that line between, perceived reality and a carefully constructed test. What does that say about resilience? About leadership? And maybe think about this. If you were Eva, knowing everything you just went through was engineered, a lie, how would you feel? But more importantly, how would you then step up to lead a planet that's genuinely counting on you now that Earth is waiting? What comes next? Makes you reflect on belief, purpose, and how we find strength